That should be better now. Please let me know if you can't hear me while I'm chatting away. Hopefully you should be able to hear me better now. Like I said, if you are just joining, we are live from Buckingham Palace, where the Queen's coffin will be transported to Westminster Hall later on today. The procession will start at 2:22 p.m, but as you can imagine, lots of people have already turned up waiting to get a good spot. The queues, well, I say queues, the crowd, I would say, are about 4 people deep at the moment. Some people have been here since last night. Some people have been here for many hours this morning. I spoke to one grandson and grandparent duo who had travelled all the way from Norfolk at about 3:45 this morning. His name was Bernard Smith, and he said that they had been queuing since 9 a.m, but they left at 3:45 because it's a moment in history. And his grandson Otto, Bernard had said to Otto, if I could give you one wish for this weekend, what would it be? And he said he would like to go to London to see the historic event that is taking place this weekend. So that's what they did, and now they are here along with many others. I also spoke to a lady called Susan Schofield who'd come from New York. She was already here on holiday but said what a historic event to be here for. She also said, and I quote, she was queen of the world, everybody loved her. When I asked her how she felt about the monarchy, she also said her dignity, her grace, her tenacity and her strength were the things that she most admired about the Queen. And that's a sentiment that is shared with lots of people here today. As you can imagine, many royalists, many Londoners who are just keen to share in such a historic moment. And like I said, the procession will not take place until 2:22 p.m, so there is a long wait for these people ahead. They've got at least another 3 hours before anything really starts to happen. But most of them seem quite happy to be waiting around. Lots of people have made friends with strangers, people who share their love of the Queen or just want to pay their respects. Along the way there are coffee shops, little huts and portaloos so that they can make this as comfortable as possible for people. Lots of people have brought chairs, picnics, blankets, all sorts to make this just a bit more bearable while they wait for the Queen's coffin at 2:22 p.m. The commanding officer, Christopher Geeker, who is the commanding officer for the Westminster Hall procession, he also told BBC Radio 4, let me just find this statement, the BBC Radio 4 Today programme, he said, it's a very sad duty, but it is a unique privilege to take part in the armed forces last duty to our Queen. In terms of evocative images of the Queen leaving Buckingham Palace for the last time, this is going to be a very special afternoon. So that was Major General Chris Geeker, who is in charge of the procession today. And that is a feeling shared by many. It's a sad day, but on top of that, there is also a great sense of pride from people I've spoken to today. They all seem very happy to be here. Lots of claps breaking out occasionally. As you can hear, there's an applause now. Oh, let's see what everyone's looking at, shall we? There are many officers on duty today. Anyone that seems to walk down the Mall gets an applause today, and why not? It's a sense of unity. Everyone cheering for the police officers here. As you can expect though, in true British fashion, people are making the best of the situation, and there are even litter pickers that were going up and down the Mall earlier, and people were throwing their litter into the bags, and obviously if they made it, great cheers. It was a very British feeling. Big cheers, and if they didn't make their litter into the bin, there was big boos and great disappointment. It was quite entertaining to watch. So lots of people are, I would say, enjoying today, which feels weird to say given the sad nature of the moment, but it is a historic event. Lots of people queuing up to see, of course, the King as well, who will be walking behind the Queen's coffin. The Duke of York, Princess Royal, Earl of Wessex, Prince of Wales and Duke of Sussex are also going to be making an appearance, of course, walking behind the coffin all together. Camilla, the Queen Consort, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, of course, along with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will travel by car. She will travel from Buckingham Palace, and it would be a walking procession to Westminster Hall from 2:22 p.m. till 3 p.m. That's when they will arrive at Westminster Hall. Then there will be a service of about 20 minutes led by the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Dean of Westminster, which I believe is being broadcast. There are viewing areas in parks across London apparently, so you can watch. If you cannot get down here today, you can watch from there. There are lots of viewing stations en route as well. Like I said, there's coffee shops, there's portaloos. Really trying to make this as comfortable as everyone can. Oh look, selfies. Love that. Everyone seems to be having a real sense of community today. It's quite lovely to see. Like I said, the Major General Christopher Giga, the commanding officer for the procession himself, he said that the parade involves 800 to 1,000 members of armed forces, and I'm sure it will be a slick operation, as has everything been so far in the sad days since Her Majesty's death. Well, Queen Elizabeth's death, I should say now. I think it'll take us quite some time to get used to saying King and Queen rather than Queen, and His Majesty rather than Her Majesty. It's a period of adjustment, that's for sure. But King Charles has already begun, obviously, serving the country. Lots of royalists have turned out today, like I said, people travelling all the way from Norfolk, 3:45 a.m. this morning. I spoke to a grandson and his grandfather about what it meant to be here. Bernard Smith, the grandfather, he said that they'd been queuing since 9 a.m. but obviously left Norfolk itself at 3:45 a.m. this morning because it's a moment in history, is what he said. And they decided to travel here after Otto, his grandson, had asked to be here. Bernard had said to him, if you could have one wish, what could it be? And he said, to be in London for this weekend. And that's what they did. And now they're making friends with people around them. It's a similar case for Susan Schofield from New York. She said that she was on holiday and just happened to be here for such a historic and momentous occasion. And she said that she was the queen of the world. Everybody loved her. And when I asked what she admired most about Queen Elizabeth, she said her dignity, her grace, her tenacity and her strength. And like I said, that's a sentiment shared by so many today. As you can see, the crowd is about 4 people deep, lots of chairs, blankets, picnics. Everyone seems to be really trying to make today as comfortable as possible, because they've still got about 3 hours to wait before they will see the coffins procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall. If you are just joining us today, we are live from Buckingham Palace, where the Queen's coffin will be transported to Westminster Hall later on today. There are queues, big crowds turning out. As you can see, it's a similar situation, if not even busier, on the other side of the road. You can cross at certain sections throughout, so if you're thinking of heading down here, don't think you'll just be restrained to one side. You can cross in between different areas. You can cross over. There's little designated sections for that, and obviously lots of people are taking pictures as they go. There's coffee shops, there's portaloos, so if you are thinking about heading down today, it will be something that will be as comfortable as possible, hopefully. As you can see, there's still lots of floral tributes around the trees here at Buckingham Palace. A similar situation in Green Park, just up the road. And these people are set for a bit of a wait because the procession doesn't start until 2:22 p.m. and then the Queen's coffin will arrive at Westminster Hall at 3 p.m. later today. And hopefully we'll be going live again for you then, so you can see the procession and you'll be able to see the King and many members of the royal family behind. As you can see, people clap. Whenever we see people going up and down the mall, there's always a clap. So royal fans can expect to see King Charles III later on, Prince of Wales, Duke of Sussex, Duke of York, Princess Royal, Earl of Wessex, all walking behind the coffin. We are just near the start of the Mall now. As you can see, lots of people, there's flags everywhere. And then, as I said, Camilla, the Queen Consort, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will travel by car. So we might not get a great view of them later, but they will be here. And then there'll be a 20-minute service at Westminster Hall, conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Dean of Westminster. There are viewing areas across London. If you wish to view this, it will be streamed. And from there, at Westminster Hall, the Queen will lie in state, and there are expected to be queues of up to 5 miles. People are able to view the coffin from 5 p.m. tomorrow on Wednesday, and it concludes at 6:30 a.m. on Monday, the day of her funeral. And obviously, like I said, the queues are expected to be very long, so do bear that in mind. Major General Chris Geeker said there will be between 800 and 1,000 people involved in the procession today. He is the commanding officer of the procession, and he also told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, "It's a very sad duty, but it is a unique privilege to take part in the Armed Forces' last duty to our Queen. In terms of evocative images of the Queen leaving Buckingham Palace for the last time, this is going to be a very special afternoon." A sentiment shared by, I would say, pretty much everybody here today. And I'm sure by 2:22 there'll be even more people here, all expecting to catch a glimpse of the Queen in her final journey from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall. Okay, I'm gonna round up there then. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. We are live from Buckingham Palace. Please do stay tuned and head to My London for more updates throughout today. We're going to try and go live again from Westminster Hall, so do make sure to catch that later on. Thanks very much, everyone, and have a good afternoon.